and because
Okay.
it's about that time, Florida. Yeah, everybody's chiming in. Very cool. So we have so much to cover. Julie, I want to make sure we're recording. You can see my screen. You see the
It says
slide.
it's being recorded. Yes,
Okay. So
you're
Jules,
being
I will let you
recorded.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nope, we're good. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'll let you take over. You're the boss lady.
Oh, well, wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here today. We're so excited. Looks like we've got realtors from far and wide across North America, so that's very exciting, and we're glad to have you here. So thank you for joining us. We have Darryl, as you can see on the screen. Wave hello to everybody, Darryl. We are very excited about today's topic. It's very timely, and it's perfect summertime strategies, I think. Today we're going to be talking about playing with buyers. My name is Julie, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Let's see, to get the most from today's session.
I'm sorry, Julie. Hold on. I'm not listening to you.
I know you're not. You're dancing and you're playing.
No, what's happening for some reason the camera is not cooperating. So just give me 1 second here because it's not focusing.
Okay.
All right. Well, don't worry about it. Okay, let's continue. Go ahead.
Awesome. Get the most from today's webinar. Please use the control panel and text your questions. And there's a little Q&A section there. Text your questions in, and we will get to as many as possible. See here. Yep, there we go. If at any time you want to connect with Darryl after the webinar, you can find him on all social media platforms with the handle @DarrylSpeaks. What do we got going on here? Okay. Darryl has been a bit. Why do we have an echo all of a sudden? That's odd.
What's the matter?
I thought we had an echo for a minute. Darryl's been in the business for over 25 years. He's training and coaching agents in his one-day speaking engagements all over the globe. His training program, his 3 books, his powerful coaching, training, and marketing program, the Power Program. Darryl likes to have a lot of fun with his audiences. It's not just about fun, though. He likes to get the heart of what there is to learn. Those are his 3 books. That top one there is the best-selling book on Amazon. Author 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill. Darryl was also named one of the top 5 coaches in real estate by Riz Media. If you can't make out those other folks, don't worry, they're not on today's call. Darryl is the very proud recipient of the CSP designation from the National Association of Speakers. This prestigious honor is only given to the top 2% of professional speakers worldwide. And to bring together. He teaches
Julie, I'm sorry, Julie, we're losing you here.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, it's my pleasure to introduce him. Darryl, I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. So, all right, gang. So we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. And Julie, you see some of the questions. Somebody said they can't hear. If somebody could just let us know that you can hear us, so that way we know it's just that one person. Let me just share with you, as Julie started to say, 1993, we created this coaching program called the Power Program. And let me just jump to the next slide here. Our power agents do tremendous production. Let me share. Thank you, gang. I can see that you can hear me. Thank you very much for the help. Okay, so let me go over the commitment of this webinar. And and Julie, maybe you can mute yourself just until you need to unmute yourself. So gang, I don't know about you. Sometimes you attend seminars and what they promise they're going to cover, they don't. And so let me cover right up front what I promised you that we are going to cover, and we'll recap, make sure I keep my promise with you. So first, we're going to talk about why is it playing with buyers and not working with buyers, how to manage your time between buyers and listings, how to show 3 to 5 houses and write a contract. So we're going to go really deep on number 3. I'm going to give you every step 1, step 2. This is going to be a full training program for you. How to get buyers to actually come into the office, and I'm going to give you 12 showing tips on how to get the buyers to buy today, how to get buyers to just work with you, and how to schedule a listing appointment when the buyer has a home to sell. So as you can tell, I've got a lot of cover with you in just an hour. 2 questions. will I be coming to your area live? Because every webinar, people ask me, when am I coming to that city? Like, for example, I saw St. Louis in the house, and we're Miami, Florida. We're going to be in Miami next week, Palm Beach. Anyway, if you go to that website on the screen, poweragentseminar.com, please don't do that now. Just, write that down. Stay focused with me on this webinar. Whenever I talk about any websites, don't go there yet, because I want you to really get the most out of this. But if you go to poweragentseminar.com, you will see the cities that I'm going to be coming to. And over the next 3 months, we're really loading up my schedule. So the other question we get, is this webinar a sales pitch? No, it's not, but I do want to be clear about something. This training that we do once a month, these webinars are for our power agents, which those are our students in the power program. And so if you are not currently a power agent, you're invited as a guest. You got an email somehow inviting you to come to this if you wanted to. And so there's going to be a part right now where I'm going to speak really directly to our power agents about a few things, but you'll also get value. So just hang in there with me. For those of you that are guests on the call, just so you have an idea, the coaching is only $27 a month, and we give a 30-day trial, which is incredible when you see everything that's there, and you can cancel anytime. There's no long-term commitment. The 3 skills that we are committed to teaching power agents, and also just agents in general, I think this is a good concept for you to have, everybody, is that you can break real estate up into 3 skill sets. One is the attitude skill set. I don't have to tell you, if you're in a bad mood, you're having a bad day, you're having problems at home, your emotional state, your altitude will dictate your attitude will dictate your attitude. So it's real important, and that's why we think power agents continually, just every 7 days, to really take a look at their attitude and how they're doing. Of course, there's the listing and selling skills of what to say, when to say it, and how to say it when you're belly to belly, face to face with a buyer or seller. And then there's the business skills, how to manage your money, how to manage self-promotion and farming and that kind of thing. So that's a business skill set. These are the 3 things that we are committed to our power agents mastering. Now, for the power agents and everybody else, I just want to point out that the classroom, we keep adding tabs. These are the tabs of where you can download a lot of the things, and we're going to cover that. When you click on a tab, these are all of the links to all of the flyers and checklists and dialogue that's there for you. And let me see with this one. This webinar, Power Agents, is being recorded, and so we're going to post the webinar recording under the webinar tab. You won't get access to it until you log in with your Power Agent username password. Also at the bottom, we added this What's New tab. When you click on What's New, it takes from all of the different categories all of these new things that we've added, so it makes it easier for you to find. And also, the coaching calls. I want to tell you guys something we just launched a few weeks ago. The coaching calls used to be monthly. Now they are weekly. So every Monday from noon to 1, there that you can ask me any questions. So it's a group coaching call. It is not this webinar. It's a dedicated phone number just for the power agents to call in on. And don't forget that we have our magazine every month of top agents that we transcribe for you. And this month's magazine is actually not a top agent. His name's Corey. He's actually an expert. He's been on television programs on meditation. Now, I'm not a real fan of meditation myself, but I do know that it does actually change the pathways in the brain. There's been a lot of science on this. I'm trying to get more into the meditation so I'm less stressed. By the way, everybody on this call, whether you're a power agent or not, you're going to be getting these e-newsletters. And these newsletters are loaded, and they're weekly. We send them out on Tuesday. And these newsletter actually has other videos and training tips. It's free for you. So if you're not getting our e-newsletter, please contact my office, or first check your junk folder. But that's probably where it is. We also have a blog for you, and on the blog it has a lot of articles and other videos. Power agents, don't forget, you can use the logo and the hashtag Power Agent. That's a registered trademark. Only power agents can use it. but start putting that in your MLS and your promotional stuff. I just want to make this announcement. Some of you know this already. We have a foundation for our power agents that 10% of the power agent membership goes to America's Hope for America's Children, which is our foundation, and then finds other charities. These are the 3 charities we gave to last year. It was over $10,000 that you as the power agents collectively because of your membership. So I want to thank you and congratulate you for that. A couple more new things, and then I want to get into the buyer topic. One of the things we added on the classroom, gang, is at the bottom of the page, you will see it says Facebook. We have a closed Facebook group for you, and this is really important. I'll show you why, because this is a screenshot of, if you see on the bottom there, it says housing market, a bigger bubble. So I've been talking about bubbles, the bubble that we've been in and what's going on. So gang, whenever I see any articles about the real estate market, I'm posting those articles in the Facebook group. So that way you can share that link in your social media. You can print it out, use it on listing appointments to show a homeowner why they should sell now. So please make sure you're checking in on the closed group. Whenever we add a flyer like the one that you see here, you can right click on any of the pictures that are in the group and you can save it to your computer. So also what's new is that we put up the newsletters that you can mail out to your farm area. This is a copy of August. This is September. So we're going to be 2 months in advance, so that way you can print it out and customize it. And also we added a training video for you on how to use the website. It's a new video on the right-hand side. You can actually watch it even without being logged in. And let's see what else. Today we're going to be focusing on playing with buyers. And here's a couple of things that's in that tab. I need a little bit more room in your nest. I can help. We're putting infographics in there for you that you can post. They're designed to fit Instagram and Facebook. There's a couple other flyers like this one. Avoid the most common mistakes home buyers make. I love this one that we did, what to do before you buy a house, and it goes through some suggestions. This flyer is powerful to use with a buyer to give them, to build a relationship, to build rapport. And also jot this down, August 15th, which is going to be this same web address, realtorwebinar.com. Next month, we're going to go over how to get offers accepted within 24 hours. Julie, I changed the seminar title because I thought we would do negotiating right after the buyer session. Because if we're talking about how to write more contracts on this webinar, how do we get more of them closed? All right, so so that's what we're going to do. So let's get into playing with the buyer topic, gang. So that's a lot of the new stuff. The first thing I want to share with you, as far as concepts are concerned, is you've got to have the right attitude working with buyers. Buyers, they can sense when we're desperate for money. My best year in real estate was my last year because I knew I was getting out of real estate. I was doing seminars. And what was interesting is because I had one foot out the door as far as showing property and listing property, the buyers didn't feel pressured to buy something. They didn't sense any kind of desperation from me. So I'm not telling you to get out of real estate, but here's how you would have that same attitude. I don't need a sale because I have plenty of listings. One of the things that's true about successful agents is that when they've got a lot of listings in their inventory, and this is why we call it playing with buyers. So let me show you something here. Power agents, this is the listing inventory chart that you will find in the listing tab of the classroom. And those of you that have attended my live seminars, you've seen me do this where I talk about not getting listings, but building and maintaining inventory. If this is what your inventory chart looks like, your active listings that are with you, that are listed with you, you know that every month you're going to be generating cash. So the reason why we call it playing with buyers is because this is how I believe we should work. You should build inventory, list, and then take a break. When you take a break, you take buyers out, you play with them. They either buy, you show properties, they either buy it or they don't. Once you've taken a break from listings, playing with buyers, you pop a few sales, you go back to work to building your inventory. 75% of your energy should be focused on inventory, and you take a break and you play with buyers, and they either buy or don't. So that's the distinction there about playing versus working. The next concept, playing with buyers, is there are basically two reasons to work with them. Number one, as I just said, it's a break from listings. And the second thing is they're quick and easy money. Oh, I forgot to, no, I'll cover that in a second. We have a gift for you guys. I know some of you are going to want to copy these slides. We'll tell you later how to get them. Let's just continue working through this. Number three is you want to know your market. This is why this is important. When you meet a buyer, keep in mind, I want to show you and help you to take a buyer out. The first time you meet them, show 3, 5 houses and sell a house, okay? Now, if a buyer is not ready to buy and they're not committed to buy, of course you can't do that. But if somebody's ready, you can do that the first time taking them out. But listen to what I'm saying. They have to trust you. So if you see, most of us, what will happen is that we have to work with a buyer. We take them out several times. During those showings, they're not just looking at the houses. If you look on the screen, it says buyers are checking you out. In other words, when they're looking at houses, they're also judging and evaluating, are you a good agent? Do you know the market? Are you showing them everything that they want to see? That's an option. So what you want to do is when you meet that buyer for the first time is you've got to learn how to quickly build that trust with them in order for them to buy the first time you take them out. Otherwise, they won't, right? So when you know your market about what's for sale, what's sold, and you put out there your confidence level and your knowledge, that will help them in trusting you. Number 4, don't listen to what buyers want because if they knew what they wanted, they would have already found it. What we all know on this call is buyers will tell us they want this, 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 this. We show them this, 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 and they wind up buying that, something totally different. And then we have that expression in our business that buyers are liars. That's not it. There's a reason why this happens, and I'm going to show you what that is and how to deal with that later on. So our job description, working with buyers, the main focus is 2 things. Number 1 is to create a sense of urgency. If you give a buyer a choice to buy now versus later, they will almost always choose later. So creating urgency. And the second is manage the emotional roller coaster that buyers go through. Sellers, when we're on a listing appointment, our focus should be more logical, more like, here's my marketing plan, here's the system, here's how we're going to make this happen. With buyers, they walk into a house and it talks to them. It speaks to their heart. It's like, this can be my next home. So buyers buy with emotion and they justify it with logic later on. But because buyers, it's an emotional experience, they have the highs and lows. And so part of what we have to do is be actually psychologists to help deal with the buyer's roller coaster they're going to go through. Number 6 is do not give the address over the phone or use MLS prospect match. Now, those of you that are power agents, part of what we're doing in this webinar is I'm going to give you all the content we can. I'll try and cover some questions at the end. But as you start to implement what I'm teaching you, don't forget we have our power agent call next Monday. And every week we have it on Monday, right? So as you start to implement things, you might have questions. For example, on this one, I could probably spend 20 minutes just on this one concept. So I'm going to do it actually in 60 seconds. The problem with giving addresses and over the phone or having the MLS email your buyers new listings that meet their criteria, that whole thing creates the opposite of buyer urgency. You all know this. When you show a buyer a house and you know this is a great house for them and they like this house, and sometimes they won't pull the trigger because they'll say, well, let's see if there's anything else better out there. And when they are getting emails on a daily basis of similar homes, we're telling them, listen, if you don't like what you see today, check your inbox tomorrow. And some of you experienced agents, you even know you've had some buyers who have said to you after they bought a house to please keep them on the prospecting match. In other words, the whole prospect match and clerking and giving addresses over the phone, we're actually helping buyers be committed to looking, not buying. It does the total opposite. So I am very strong about this. I believe you need to stop doing it. Now, to have MLS Prospect Match email you to tell you, hey, there's a new listing came on the market that meets one of your buyers, that's fine, but I would not be sending it to them. Okay, this part, gang, so those are the concepts. Now, here's what we're going to do on this section of the webinar. I'm going to go through how to handle the phone call. Then I'm going to go through how to deal with the face-to-face, and then how to show property. And in between that, I'm going to show you how to turn a buyer up call into a listing appointment. So when you talk to a buyer for their first time, you want to say, hi, this is Darryl Davis, who am I speaking with, and your phone number, please. Now, sometimes they're not going to tell you their name. Sometimes they're not going to tell you the phone number, but you still want to ask that, right? So that's just very simple. That's step one. Step two is, yeah, how may I help you? And they say, well, I'm calling about this house on that I saw the sign or the ad, whatever. You say, okay, could you tell me a little bit more? Oh, it's a 3-bedroom, blah, 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 blah. Now watch this. Here's step two. This is very powerful. Watch, here it comes. Yes, oh yeah, I know the home, Mr. Hana. We've been getting a lot of calls on that property. Could I ask you to hold for a moment while I check the status of it? Bing. Now well, let me tell you why this is great. Because what happens when buyers are calling, they have more of a commitment to eliminate you than to schedule an appointment. Why? Because they probably have a bunch of listings that they're looking at through Zillow, online, realtor.com, So they're making these calls to find something wrong with the property, so that way they can take their list of 10 homes and narrow it down to 3 or 4. What's really interesting, though, is that when you tell the buyer, yes, I know the home, we've been getting a lot of calls on that property. Could I ask you to hold for a moment while I just check the status of it? What happens when you put them on hold, now the anxiety starts like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of calls, it's a good house. Let me tell you, something, gang. One of the rules of thumbs with buyers is buyers want what other buyers want. And if there's activity on a property, it creates that sense of urgency right out the gate. Very powerful right there, step two. Now, step three, here's how you do this. Now, you take them off hold and you say, yes, Mr. Hana, thanks for holding. That house is still available. Can I ask you, are you calling for yourself or someone else? And they'll say whatever they say. And then you're going to go through a series of questions. What is the primary price range that you're looking at? Have you been looking a while, or did you just start? How long you've been looking in this area? Now, gang, these questions that I'm showing you and giving you, these are the questions that I use. Power agents, this is what I want you to use. But if you have some of your own questions, that's fine. Any particular reason for wanting to buy around here? Let's see what else we got. Oh, by the way, let me just point something out. Any particular reason for wanting to buy around here, that will show you if there is some kind of emotional connection to the neighborhood, which is really important. That will help you in working with these buyers. Number 4, how many houses have you actually seen? If a buyer said they've only seen, 2, it's different than if somebody says they've seen 200, right? Actually, if they've seen 200, that can tell you they're not committed, right? If they say 20, they might be ready to pull a trigger. So that's a powerful question, number 4. Here's some other questions for you. Have you seen any house you like? Why didn't you buy one of those? I actually sold a house one time with that one question. They saw a house, they loved it, but they didn't put an offer. I just showed it to them again, and they wanted to buy it. When are you thinking making the move? That's obviously important. Are you renting now, or do you own? If somebody owns a home, they say it right here. I'm going to show you how to turn that into a listing appointment if, in fact, the house is in the market that you work. 9, what's your initial investment you're working with? And, of course, a few more questions here. Does that include the monies needed for closing, which would be about bump, or are you counting that separately? Let me just back up on that question. In some parts of the country, like California, New York, our closing costs are very expensive. If you, let's see, we're looking at this house is $500,000. The rule of thumb is closing costs are 5% of the selling price. So that'd be another $25,000 in closing costs. That's in New York, same thing in California. So it's good to know up front what these people are dealing with. Are you working with another agent? Now, people ask me, Darryl, shouldn't that question be the first question? The reason why you don't want to have that be the first question is because they'll probably be more apt to not be honest with you. Once you've gone through all these other questions, having this conversation, and you kind of throw that one in there. And may I have your email address? All right, now, I know some of you want to ask me this question, which is, Darryl, when they call in from the beginning and to find out about this house, they're not going to answer all these questions. Well, first of all, a lot of them will. That's number one, because when you tell them, hold on a second, let me check the status of that house, and then you come back and say, yeah, Mr. Hunter, that house is still available. Let me ask you, are you looking for yourself or someone else? I'm looking for myself. Oh, okay, that's great. And look, I'm just curious, why are you looking in this neighborhood? In other words, it becomes really conversational, and you'll be surprised. Most buyers will let you go through part 3. Now, in some cases, if you've got a real tough buyer and if they're from New Jersey, shout out New Jersey. If they're from Jersey, they might say, why are you asking me all these questions? What are you, a cop that just got your real estate license? I don't want to answer all these. I just want to find out about the house. Then what you do is just go to the next part, which is part 4. You don't have to tell them, no, I'm not ready to go to 4 because I'm still in part 3 and I'm not done 3 until I 4 you. They don't know you have parts in front of you. All right. So be flexible there. Part 4.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is they're going to ask us a question. So what can I tell you about the house? Well, how many bedrooms does the house have? Well, this particular house has 4 bedrooms. Are you looking for 4 or 3? How big is the family? No, three bedrooms will work great for us. So my point here, gang, is going back and forth. They ask you a question, you give them an answer, and then you give them another, that you ask them a question, they'll answer you back. So you're going back and forth with this fair exchange until you decide that this house works for them or it doesn't. Then you're going to ask them to come into the office, and here's how you do that. Now, by the way, I use the word in our program, it says invite action because we don't want to close people. We invite people. In all my training, gang, whether it's a listing appointment, buyers, we don't close people. People don't like to be closed. We don't use the word close anywhere in any of our training. What we do is we invite people to take action based on what they're committed to. That's what we do. And so here's how we're going to invite them to take action that's consistent with buying a house. We're going to confirm that this house works for them or doesn't work for them, right? So after we've gone through all the parts, if the house works for them, we'll set up an appointment. If it doesn't, we'll say, well, let me ask you this. You folks are serious about buying a home, yes? So I'll actually confirm their commitment to buying. Then I'll go to the next part, which is, well, let me tell you a little bit about my company. So I'm going to validate the power of my company because don't forget, these people probably calling other buyers, other agents. You know, our company is very large. We're very successful. We have access to other mortgage companies and attorneys and title. In other words, we're like a one-stop shop. We're like a superstore, if you will. And so it's very fortunate that you happen to call today because we have access to everything that you need. So the second part, after you confirm that they're serious, you want to validate your company because you want to entice them to want to come see you, which brings us to the third part. One of the things I like to do with you, Mr. and Mrs. Hana, is share with you our 6-step buying process, which is designed to help buyers such as yourself find the right house with the least amount of aggravation in today's market. So what I like to do is share this with you. I like to find the time when you folks can come into the office so I can share with you our 6-step buying process. Plus, while you're in, maybe we'll pull some houses together and look at some properties. So that is the process of handling the up call. Now, also, you want to make sure at this point, before you get off the phone, that they've met with a lender. If they haven't, you will give them a lender consultation by telling them to contact a lender, maybe somebody you're going to recommend, because they really need to get that pre-commitment letter, which is always a good thing. Now, if a buyer has a house to sell, let me share with you what we're going to do here. We're going to say, okay, so this house, so I'm at the end of the call and I say, you know, so Mr. Hunahan, it seems like this house really doesn't work for us, right? Yeah. All right. Well, let me ask you a question. You said you have a house to sell, and I'm assuming we are using the money from the sale of your property for the new one, correct? And they'll say yes, most likely. They say, well, here's what I like to do for you, Mr. Hunahan, and you tell me if this makes sense. What I like to do is find the time. I like to come over, take a look at your house, and accomplish three things. Number one is I like to share with you what I think the value of your current home is, being that we're using the money to purchase the new one. What you sell your house for is really going to dictate our price range of where we're going to. The second thing I like to accomplish is you might have a price that you want regardless of what I tell you the market would bear. And so based on the price that you want, I can tell you how long it's going to take to sell your house at that price, so that way you can time the sale and the purchase of the new one. But Mr. Hanahana, I'd like to come over for a third reason, and this is perhaps the main reason. I'd like you to take me through your house, show me everything you love about your house and everything you don't like about your house. Same thing with your wife. That way, you guys will help me get a clear picture in my mind of what that new home should look like by pointing out to me what you've been experiencing and what you're looking for. Gang, I'm going to tell you something. This is a powerful way to turn a buyer up call into a listing appointment. That last one right there, they're going to let you in to help them find their dream home. And when you're over there, you'll actually turn that into a listing appointment. Now, as far as the listing appointment, gang, don't forget, we have other webinars in the Power Program website that goes through how to actually do that listing appointment. Now, gang, this over here, the 6-step buying process, is a form that you will actually use when you meet a buyer for the first time. And I'm going to go through the dialogue really quick. Whenever you guys see me look at my computer screen, I'm trying to see what time it is, because we're getting a lot of information here in an hour. So this form, you'd actually, when you meet a buyer for the first time, you would sit down with them and go through it this way. And we are recording this, gang, by the way. So Mr. and Mrs. Hanahana, so thanks for coming into the office. So now we're face to face. Here's what I like to do. Let me share with you a 6-step buying process. There's step one is I like to inform you a little bit about myself, and the reason why I want to do that, this is an important decision. I want you to feel comfortable about working with me. As a matter of fact, if you don't, I want you to tell me, and I'll be more than happy to get another agent in my company to work with you. Is that fine? Okay, good. Assuming I pass the interview on step one. Step two is I like to ask you a bunch of questions. The reason why I like to do that is to get a picture in my mind, the type of house you're looking for. Then step three, what we'll do is I want to show you everything that's on the market, not physically, but through the MLS, through the printouts, through our in-house inventory. And the reason why I do that is I want us to select the houses you want to go see. And the reason why I do that is, assuming we find the right house today, I don't want you to procrastinate wondering, is there a better house out there for you? Because you'll already be familiar with everything because we look together. Then what we'll do is we'll actually take those houses you pick. We're going to go inspect them. Now, when I show you property, I don't usually bring anything with me, because what's important, not what the taxes are or what stays and chandeliers and stuff. What's important for us is we walk into that house and it has a feeling. You know, we're looking for that feeling. Can this be our home? Now, assuming one of the homes we look at talks to your heart, then we'll come back to the office. Step 5, we'll go over the paperwork. We'll look at what the numbers are. And in that time, we'll also put together an offer to present to the homeowner. You know, hopefully that'll work for them and it's fair to you. And then lastly, ongoing service, meaning that once you get into your new home, I want you to know I'm committed to serving you. If you ever need anything real estate related, I'm here for you. So gang, that's the 6-step buying process that you'll go through with the buyers. Now, I'm going to show you how to do each step. So first you explain it, and then you start doing it. In step 1, you're going to have 3 sections. The first section, when you're informing the buyer about yourself, is any credentials you have, certificates, awards, and education. The second part, and achievements, and the second part is you're going to talk about your company. You know, what may be the mission statement if you want to, the broker, market share. So sections 1 and section 2 is to get them comfortable with your knowledge and of the company. I'm going to show you something here, some other things that you can give them in step 1. I love that we put this together. I've seen this in different places, but Julie recreated this. I think she did a fabulous job. And it shows the process of buying a house. And you'll notice on the screen in the bottom there, in the center, it's white because you put your contact information, your photo, your contact stuff. So you can use it as a flyer too. But I would give this on a listing appointment. I'll show you where this is in a minute. I'm not listing board, but a buyer appointment. There's a checklist for loan application that you can give to the buyers at this point too. You'll notice the bottom, you put your contact information there. These are all little doodads to give in this first meeting with the buyers. This is an awesome book that we wrote on how to help it make it easier when there's children involved making a move. I'll show you where this is in a minute. And the move-in checklist for kids, if you look at this, let's see, you tell the kids, remember, number 2, remember a nightlight and a flashlight for the hotel room if they're moving out of town. Make sure they have their favorite bedtime stories ready. Bring a small bag of toys. When the movers pack your belongings, have them label your box with your name on it. So it's a little checklist for children, really fun, icebreaker, cute thing. This is a checklist for the adults for making the move. So these are little things you can give to the buyers. Now, gang, I got to show you something that we created. I love this. So hang on a second. I'm going to do something. Your home buyer packet, putting the pieces together. Yeah. I got to switch slides here for you to see this puppy. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I should. Yeah, well, there's so much here. All right. All right. Let me go through this really quick. Hang on a second.
We got crazy.
What's that, Julie?
We got a little crazy with that one.
Yeah. This is awesome. Gang, this is a buyer packet. Look at this. You can print this out to give to the buyers. Let's just look at the table of contents. Understanding the difference between agency, the home buying process, what every buyer should know about purchasing, home search criteria, neighbor. I'm going to flip through these pages really quick. So there's a part you customize up front, why you need a realtor, understanding agency, how that works. Love this graphics. The advantage of using a buyer's agent, the home buying process. Gang, this is like a handout that you can print and give to buyers. What every buyer should know before purchasing, the roadmap to your home, home search criteria, the neighborhood. Gang, this just making an offer. There's tips in here about how to make offers, home inspection. This is a great icebreaker. It's a great piece to give to people as you're even knocking on doors. What is a real estate closing? What does that mean after the closing? And then, gang, you will put in sample forms based on your state, okay? So I'll show you where to get this stuff in just a minute. Whoops, I just messed up the slides. Hang on. So that is from current slide. So I'll tell you where in a minute. All right. So step 1, again, about you, your company, and then this, educate the buyer about the process, what's happening in the market, and you're going to share some MLS stats, how your market has improved this year over last year. Any articles that are local, power agents, look for those articles in the website on the Facebook group, and gifts. Here's a couple of slides. Robert Schiller says, it would not be a mistake to buy a house right now. One of my favorites, Warren Buffett, I would buy up a couple 100,000 single family homes if held for a long period of time, purchase at low rates. Houses are even better than stocks. So gang, what you want to do is share this stuff about the market, why home ownership is so important right now. Here, this is based on a lot of studies with Duke University and Fannie Mae and Habitat of Humanity, that kids who live in a home that's owned, they actually have better math grades, English grades, less behavioral problems. And this is something to give to a renter that you meet for the first time to motivate them if they have children or they're about to have children to get a home as soon as possible if they love their kid. This chart over here shows as interest rates go up, how it impacts their buying power. Another motivating piece. We've heard that interest rates have been going up. The Fed's raised rates twice this year, and they're talking about raising it 2 more times the rest of this year. A home buyer's agent going through what a home buyer's agent will promote and protect your interests. Ask you to be loyal, not to work with other realtors. Will locate and show available properties from any company. So this is to help validate agency and that they sign with you exclusively, okay? Now, gang, let me show you where these things are. Now, power agents, I'm talking to the power agents now. When you go to Classroom and you click on the Buyer tab, Playing with Buyers, all of those slides that I just showed you, and those are the quotes, they're in that right here all of them, okay? Now, the rest of you, I'll tell you how I'm going to get you a copy of the slides towards the end here. Now, so step one is inform them. Step two, we're going to ask some questions. Now, gang, to save time, I'm not going through these questions because we gave a gift for you. I don't know if you noticed it yet, but on your webinar panel, somewhere, where is it? Don't tell me, Julie. I know where it is. Somewhere on the deck. Where the heck is it? I don't see it anymore. Do you see it there,
What are you
Julie?
looking for?
What?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the handouts. There it is. Okay. Gang, if you don't see the handouts, if you go to the little panel on your webinar thing, it says view. Up top, it says file options view. And then if you scroll down to handouts, then you will see a little buyer questionnaire handout. I'll show you what it looks like. Hang on. It looks like this. So if you click on that, you can download that right now. And if for some reason you're not tech savvy and you're confused right now because I'm teaching so much for you and you're just getting overwhelmed, we're going to email this. Are we emailing this, Julie?
We can, yeah.
All right. So, but download it right now while we're doing the webinar here. Those are all the questions. So I'm going to skip over the questions because you guys got it. It's a gift that we gave you. Okay, now, selecting houses. Here's how this works, gang. What you want to do is have the buyers select the houses with you. The reason why is because they'll feel part of the process. It creates a sense of urgency. It builds their commitment to buy, and it stimulates their desire to buy. Now, I'm going to show you something, and we're going to talk about the shiny penny concept. We all know what's better. We can either take a buyer out, we show them 10 houses, or it's better to take one house and show it 10 times. And we know it's better to take one house and we work it until we sell it. I'm going to teach you this concept called the shiny penny list real quick. You know, you can take buyers and put them in their price categories, and based on the category they're in, let's say there's 20 homes for sale. Of those 20, there's going to be usually 2 or 3 that's better than all the rest, based on the square footage, the location. In other words, it's got more bang for the buck. That's the shiny penny. The reason why buyers buy something different than what they said they're going to buy, because what they wind up buying was the shiny penny in their price range. So what we want to do is we want to take buyers and show them the shiny pennies in their price range. If they don't buy one of the shiny pennies, that tells us they're not ready to buy now. The motto my power agents live by is less stress, income higher, work the house, not the buyer. So now let me show you, and by the way, I'm going to show you on the computer screen, those of you can see it. But before I do that, on your screen right now, you should see free items. When you go to the powerprogram.com website, even if you're not a power agent, you go to free items and you will see explaining the shiny penny concept. That audio is about 20 minutes that gets into that a little bit more deeper. Let me just see what my screen is here. So what you're going to do, hang on one second, gang, be patient with me. I'm going to do something here. Okay, because I had to see the camera. I want to show you how this works. So when you have, okay, when you're sitting with the buyers and you print out, let's say, 20 houses for sale, you've already set up your appointments with those 3 or 4 shiny pennies. So what you want to do is you want to have the buyers pick the 3 or 4 shiny pennies. So let's say you're the buyer and say, Mr. Hunter, let's look at the houses you want to look at. Now, this house over here actually needs a lot of work. You told me you don't want a house that needs work. Is that correct? All right, let's take that. Let's forget that one. That one's not going to work for us, okay? Now, this house over here, this does need a little work, but I got to tell you, it has a lot of bang. If you take a look, you see how pretty it is? I really think we should look at it. What do you think? Okay, good. So then they pick that one. And now this one over here is next to it's next to a nuclear plant. Your vegetables will grow better, but I don't know if you want. All right, let's get rid of that one. All right, this one over here, it's next to a funeral parlor. But a lot of traffic because people dying. No, okay, good. This one here, I think we should see. What do you think? Okay, good. So here's my point, gang, is if you've got 10 houses, You find the houses that are not the shiny pennies and you tell them, I don't think we should see it, here's why, and you point out something negative about it, which is fine. It's totally, you're not lying about it, you're pointing out a flaw, and you tear it out and get rid of it. Now, the shiny pennies, you don't have to sell those. If you just say to a buyer, I think we should see this one, what do you think? They say, yes, good. Watch what happens. If you've got 10 houses or 20 houses, and you're saying, this is no good, this is no good, okay, this is good, this is no good, this is, oh, this is good. By the time you're done and you've got like 3 out of the 20, the buyers get into your car with a commitment to buy one of the 3 because they've already seen it. They've been part of the process. They eliminated the bad ones. This is all that's left. If they don't buy one of these, they got nothing, nada, finite, it's over. So this technique is very, very powerful. You have the buyers be part of the process and pick the shiny pennies. All right, now let's go on. Inspect. I'm going to give you, how are we doing on time? Boy, I got to hurry here. Julie, do we have any questions? Gang, if you have any questions, start typing them now. And I'm going to finish up here. Step 4, we're going to show properties. That says inspect. That's what we said to the buyers. We're going to inspect the properties together. But here's how we're really talking about showing. Number 1 is you want to do a daily update every day and always find the shiny pennies. You find a shiny penny that comes out, call all your buyers, take that one shiny penny and show it to as many buyers as you can. Less stress, income higher, work the house, not the buyers. Now, in some cases, if you've got if you're strong to do this, you can take one house and you show it to 3 buyers at the same time. If you take one shiny penny and show it to 3 of your best buyers, you're going to sell that house. Absolutely. You tell the 3 buyers that where you're doing a mini open house, it's by invitation only. You're inviting them to come. Even if it's not your listing, you ask the agent, you set the appointment up. When you set the appointment up, you tell the buyers, it's not my listing, but I asked the agent, the listing agent, if I could do my own little mini open house. The third thing is when you're previewing houses, ask why a seller is moving. They may not always tell you, but it's good to ask because sometimes you might learn of a shiny penny by asking that question. Explain the seller's job when you're the listing agent, and we know the seller's job is to turn the lights off and leave. Number 5 is you want to take the scenic route when you're showing property. If the house is not near or is next to an ugly house, for example, whatever, don't have that be the first thing they see. Take the other way around, show them the house, then show them that non-scenic feature. You have to show it to them. Just don't let them see it first before they get into the house. Lower their expectations. Don't be driving up to a house, say, oh, you're going to love this house because you're raising it. If his house is a cream puff, say, it's a nice house. If it's a nice house, say it needs a little work. If it needs a little work, say, it's a dog, ring, ring, woof, woof. So lower it because when they go in, you want this kind of reaction. Oh, wow, this is not that bad. Next one, park across the street. Silly little powerful thing. When you pull into the driveway, into the front of the house is too up front. It's too in their face. But when you park across the street, they can now soak it up as they're walking across the street. It's a silly thing. It makes a difference. Now, don't do that if it's on a main road because you may kill your buyer. The next one is take only a pad and pen with you. Don't worry about the taxes and this is not being a real estate. How big is the lot? No, it's 75 by 200. This is not. Tell them the lot. Look in the backyard. Is it big enough? Do you like it? It's good. All right. We're looking for emotions, not logic. So don't take too much stuff with you. All right. Use one car. Why? Because you want to build rapport. You want to get their reactions. So make sure you encourage them to take the one car. If they insist on following you, then drive really fast so that way you can lose them and they'll learn their lesson to go with you in the future in the car. Next one is don't tell them the price until after you've shown the house. Don't pull up to the house saying, now this house is $499.9. Why would you do that? Every house they're looking at is in their price range. Don't make it about the price. Darryl, what happens if they ask you? Don't tell them. Well, my style would be that. I would say, all right, let's take a look. We pull up to the house, say, Darryl, how much is this house? I'd say, don't worry. I don't want you to worry about the money right now. We're looking for a home. Everything we're looking at is in our price range. Let's just focus on that. I'll tell you when we come out, but let's just go through and see if you like it. Watch for buying signals. Don't, if they say, ooh, this is wonderful, kind of tune into their personality. focus on the monthly payment. When you do tell them the price, always summarize it with, this house is $475, which that'll come out to basically $2,500 with the monies you're putting down. All right. So always have them, train them to think monthly payments, not price. Show their favorite house a second time. So if you show them 3 houses and they like house number 1, you still bring them to house 2 and 3. And after the 3rd one, you say, so what do you think? Boy, we really like that first house. Bring them back to that first house before you go to the office. Here's why. The first time they go through it, they're going to buy it emotionally. But when you bring them back the second time, they're going to sell themselves logically. It's a very powerful technique. And then the last part, I don't have to go over with you this because it's really not part of working with the buyers. That's step 5, negotiating offers. We're going to do next month. And this ongoing service is basically staying in touch with them. Now, to summarize, gang, build and maintain inventory so that way you have the right attitude. Get them to sit down for a face-to-face interview with you to get them motivated to buy. Use the 6-step buying process visual. And don't forget to work the shiny penny list, less stress, income higher, work the house, not the buyer. Now I'm going to show you where to get these slides in the recording, and then I'm going to open it up to questions in our remaining few minutes. If you guys go to the Power Program, don't go right now, stay with me. thepowerprogram.com/webinar bonus. When you go there, you become a power agent, and then you can get access to all this stuff. One of our power agents, when he took our program, Michael Ardolino, he generated 71 listings, 64 sales because of our program. So I want to remind you guys, this is only $27 a month for not the webinar, all the other stuff that we do. You get the 30 days free, get access to the entire website. It's not limited, so you have free access for a whole month. You get a copy of today's slides, webinar on demand. This is your training program for you to help you stay focused for only $27 a month. Now, part of the bonuses for signing up today, gang, you see this on the screen. Everything that you see on the screen here is a bonus that you're getting. Just watch this for signing up. You could, Julie's going to kill me to say this, but you could sign up for the 30-day trial for free, and you get to keep everything that's on the screen and then some. So I'm telling you how you can rip me off right now is that you sign up and download all this stuff. That's good. Yeah, shut up, Julie. Mute yourself. It's all right. Now, let me tell you, hopefully, you don't cancel because you'll have access to me every week. There's these Ask Darryl calls for an hour. They're more intimate, they're smaller, and it's one-on-one. These webinars is more of a presentation. And you're going to get the dedicated Power Agent website with a plethora of stuff. There's an archive section where we keep all of the last year of webinars and magazines. And there's the digital magazine. We interview top agents every month. And we actually have a resource directory of vendors that we recommend for you. There's a closed group in Facebook just for our power agents where we load things. You get 50% discount on all of our other CDs. And this is going to be our next webinar, which is August 15th, how to get the offers accepted. Now, so that's the website. We're going to open it up to questions in our 5 minutes that we've got here, and maybe I'll go a little bit over. But gang, thepowerprogram.com/webinar bonus. You will get a recording of today. You'll get today's slides. You'll get the audio of this. There's so much. So we're not going to keep this up there too long. So you want to do this pretty quickly. Go to that website and you'll punch in your credit card, stuff like that. We don't charge you. You get the 30 days free. At the end of the 30 days, if you don't cancel, then we put you on to the month-to-month of that 27. Julie, we have any questions?
We do. We have several brand new agents. So this was a great topic for them. And they want to know if you have any advice for new licensees who still have a full-time job and how to expedite the process of becoming full-time.
Oh, okay. Listen, this is a great question. So gang, hang in there with me because I'm going to train you now, okay? So we invited you to be the power program, and so you know where to go for that, but stay with me now because I'm going to just give content here now more. For new agents, my recommendation for you is do not actually even work with buyers, in my opinion. You really want to focus on getting listings. The reason why is because with your limited time that you have, if you build a shoe store, we're in the business of real estate. When you get a lot of listings, just like a shoe store, you have inventory. When you're working your other job, you still have the listings generating revenue for you because other full-time agents are showing your listings. So the quickest path for a part-time agent to become full-time is to not work with buyers at all and just focus on building listing inventory. That is the model without question. Next question, Julie.
Yes. So won't buyers just automatically go to Zillow to get their information? How do they bypass that?
Yeah, so yeah, great question. So what you'll do, and gang, don't forget, Power Agents, I'll be on the call every Monday so we can get into more calls where I can spend a whole hour answering questions. But so anyway, this one here about Zillow. When buyers say to you they're on Zillow or they're online, here's what you tell them. When you meet them for the first time, you'll say, that's great that you did that. Here's what we tell our customers is that anything that's online, there's a huge delay on what's currently available. So something will show that it's available and it really isn't because there's something pending on it, it's in contract. So it's good to still look because it gives you a sense of what's happening in the market, but you don't make decisions based on that because it's delayed. What I'm showing you right now in the office is all of the current active houses that are for sale based on what you told me that you're looking for. So that's how you deal with that. One last question, Julie.
One last question is, how long are you normally on a call with a buying prospect?
With a buyer?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good question. But I can't really answer that. It's the call could go about if they're a nice buyer and they're letting you go through those 5 parts, you're going to be on the phone for about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. Part of it's building the rapport. If you got a person from New Jersey, shout out New Jersey. Listen, I love Jersey. I'm making fun of Jersey, so relax. I love Jersey. I'm from New York, but I love Jersey. They may be more to, stop asking me the questions, but I just want to see the house, and the call turned into 2 minutes, right? So, all right, gang. Well, listen, I hope this helped you. Make sure you get to the website there so you can get access to all the guidance to you. We're sending these slides out today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Power Agents, and I look forward to talking to you guys on the next call on Monday for our Power Agents to do the Ask Me a Lot of questions. All right, gang. Have a great day.
Exactly.
Have a great weekend, and don't forget to keep smiling. All right, gang. Thank you.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.